Hi guys, this is Klazart bringing you Game 2 of the World Cyber Games Qualification Round 1 matchup between Iris and Nalra, the Korean qualifications. And the last game was quite fascinating. That was played between two guys on Shin Peaks of Bikedu. It seemed to me like Nalra was ahead for some time in the game, but ultimately Iris managed to come out on top. His push was too strong, and really Iris showing us just what a fantastic Terran versus Protoss player he is. And as I commented previously in the previous matchup, his strongest matchup is generally considered to be Terran versus Terran, and he showed versus Savior last season as well as this season that he's pretty good Terran versus Zerg, but no one expected him to show the kind of dominance he has shown in Terran versus Protoss matchups as well. And really Iris is a complete player, and unfortunately for him he hasn't won a major title yet, but I think he's good enough to be considered one of the top players playing StarCraft right now. Definitely one of the top Terran players. I can't think of any other Terran player playing right now who I would consider to be a more fearsome opponent than Iris. Midas is pretty good. I Love Uvi is fantastic. Flash is downright scary, but none of them render the kind of heart-wrenching absolute terror in their opponents' minds as Iris does. And I'm wondering what Nalra will be thinking right now, because this is a must-win game for him. He was on top last game in terms of economy. He hurt Iris's economy a lot, and Iris still managed to pull out the win. So Nalra's got to be thinking to himself, what do I have to do here to actually defeat this opponent? And this time Nalra has gone for a more standard build. Last time he fast expanded, so he's put up the gateway first on this occasion, and this is the map this time is Tau Cross. And obviously Tau Cross is a map where it's much easier for the Terran opponent, if you allow them to set up a siege around your base, and the last thing a Protoss player wants is to have their base surrounded. Nalra has started up at the 6 o'clock, or rather the 5 o'clock base, and Iris has started up at around 1 o'clock, and Nalra's probe has been sent out to scout, and it is scouting, unfortunately for Nalra, in the wrong direction. So this is a must-win game for Nalra. I'm not sure what he needs to do. Iris, obviously, having won the last game, feels no need to change his strategy this time around, and he's going for the exact same strategy. Nalra scouting very early on, and I think that's one of the features we've seen off Protoss players ever since Boxer reintroduced two barrack rush builds against Protoss by Terran. We've seen this change in strategy where most Protoss players scout very early on, although you would have expected Nalra to scout at that point anyway on a map like Tau Cross. Obviously he wants to know what Iris is up to, and Iris has gone for a fairly standard build, gone for that one barracks and one refinery, so he's going to be taking up. Nalra has gone for a tech build as well. He started up his cybernetics core, so it'll be interesting to see what sort of build later on these two guys come up with. And Nalra has started up that second gateway, and we have seen on maps like Tau Cross, on Reverse Temple, the kind of two-gate Dragoon push early on to slow down the opponent, and that's exactly what Nalra might be going for here. So both players playing a pretty standard matchup thus far, and it'll be interesting to see whose superior micro is telling. And Nalra is going to actually be able to scout inside, and Nalra's probe, this is a little bit careless by Nalra, his probe at the entrance, and the video controller playing around with the video there. Nalra's probe at the entrance of Iris, I'm not sure if he went all the way in, but he's following that SCV out, and he might not have been controlling that probe as he should have, and he should really have gone in and scouted. So he might have missed his opportunity here to scout what Iris is doing, and Iris is now going to block that path into his base, and Nalra is now sending that probe back. So how critical is this going to prove to be? Nalra did not control his probe there. That was very careless by Nalra. Nalra did not control his probe movements. He had obviously right-clicked on the minimap, and Nalra has blocked his own the entrance to his own base with that pylon to prevent the SCV coming in until that Dragoon was complete. So that was a bit of clever play by Nalra. He's denied the scout to his opponent, but I'm sure his opponent knows, not having seen that base, that there's no nexus there. The Dragoon is out. Obviously, Iris will not know that Nalra has gone for a two-gate build. He might assume Nalra has gone for a one-gate into kind of robotics facility build. So that's definitely one thing that is in Nalra's favor, that Iris is not going to be aware how many Dragoons Nalra has, and that might give Nalra an advantage early on. But Nalra, critical mistake there, despite sending out that probe early and scouting, despite sacrificing the economy he would have gained from that probe, and Iris going for the second factory there, and that's certainly going to help him considering Nalra's two-gate build. But critically, Nalra, having gone for that build, sent that probe out, obviously right-clicked on the map on Iris's base near that point, and then when the probe arrived there, Nalra didn't take control of it, so that probe just followed the SCV out on auto attack mode, and that has served critical. And now Iris is actually going to be able to scout Nalra's base. Iris hasn't really got any units out of those factories yet. He was, I think, researching siege mode first. I'm not sure whether he was researching spider mines, but Nalra's got about 3 Dragoons. Iris doesn't have a lot of troops to defend his base. Iris is is going to be able to send that SCV in and see that, and he's going to see those 2 Dragoons popping out. He's got to be aware that Nalra's got at least 2 gateways if those 2 Dragoons are popping out, and Iris actually did build a siege tank, but that siege tank is coming under fire now with those 3 Dragoons. Iris only has a couple of minutes. That siege tank goes down, so Iris is in a little bit of trouble here. Nalra might be... this is a chance for Nalra to capitalize. Iris is supposed to bring out the SCVs to fight off Nalra's Dragoons because his siege tank got taken out, as well as the Marines, and Iris trying to surround those Dragoons. One of the Dragoons is surrounded. Nalra manages to wiggle them out. He's trying to attack those SCVs. He needs to bring reinforcements in. One of the Dragoons is definitely trapped. Nalra again wiggles out, so Iris trying to surround this, and Nalra has now positioned his Dragoons quite near those factories, so Iris' units are going to come under fire now. I'm not sure if Iris has reached her Spider-Man or anything. Iris has got 2 siege tanks popping out. He definitely doesn't have siege mode. One of the Dragoons gets taken out. One of the siege tanks takes a lot of damage, but Iris is going to repair that, so excellent defense by Iris, but he's definitely lost some economy in that time when he was in. Now coming in with the 2 Dragoons, and he's going to be forced to retreat. He managed to pick off an SCV, but Nalra continuing to pump Dragoons from those 2 gateways, and I think this has given Nalra an opportunity to set up that nexus, to set up that expansion, and I think Iris has got siege mode there. I just had a glimpse of it. No, he doesn't. He still doesn't have siege mode, but he's got those 2 siege tanks. He's repairing them with SCVs, and he's got those double factory with machine shop builds, so Iris has secured his defense. He did lose only 1 siege tank to that. Nalra has lost 3 Dragoons. That's the critical point here, but even though Nalra lost 3 Dragoons and Iris didn't, and Nalra now with 4 Dragoons going in and again, Iris doesn't have a lot of SCVs this time to support him. His SCVs has gone back, so Nalra might be able to take out one of the siege tanks before it can get repaired, and Iris repairing. Iris, great micro by Iris repairing him, but Nalra managed to take out 2 of the siege tanks. 1 siege tank still remains, another one pops out for Iris. Nalra takes out a 2nd siege tank, so Nalra killing those siege tanks as if they were Marines. Nalra's killed about 3 or 4 siege tanks at least now. Iris in a little bit of trouble. He's pumping, and Nalra has now started been able to afford the resources, continually pumping Dragoons obviously from his main, from those 2 gateways, but he's been able to invest the resources in that nexus as well, and at the same time do significant damage to Iris, and Iris now forced to retreat with that siege tank. Nalra doing a great job, and Nalra's Dragoons obviously range upgraded, and Nalra managing to kill out another siege tank, and Iris in huge trouble here. Nalra might be able to take this game if he can keep pressing home this advantage. Nalra's doing a great job here, and Iris is in a little bit of trouble. Iris once again forced to wheel out the SCVs, and every time he does that, those SCVs are not mining. Every time he does that, and Nalra, not only has he killed about 3 or 4 siege tanks, he's critically killed about 3 or 4 SCVs, and considering the fact that Iris only has a single command center, and he's trying to pump siege tanks, and Iris now setting up that supply depot to shore up his defense, but Nalra won't mind. He's given himself a significant advantage in this game now. You have to feel that this time Nalra does have an advantage, and Iris just sitting back behind that supply depot that he's constructed to finally wall off that choke, to buy himself some time to catch his breath, and he's needed to do that. But you've got to give Nalra a strong chance of coming out and winning this game now. And again, Nalra going for that siege tank, and Iris micro just a little bit off key, allowing Nalra to get the hit. And Nalra's micro just spectacular in this game, spot on. He's doing everything right, and he really needs to in order to be able to overcome a player of Iris's caliber. And it looks like Iris is finally researching that siege tank here, but he's only got 1 siege tank. He's got another siege tank popping out in his main, but those Dragoons are surrounded, so that's a little bit careless by Nalra. He's got those Dragoons surrounded. Another siege tank pops out for Iris. Nalra though managed to get the hit, and Nalra unfortunately not managed to finish that 2nd siege tank off. He's got another Dragoon coming, but that's not going to be able to do too much damage because now Iris has repaired that siege tank. He's got 2 siege tanks there in his main now. So Nalra however has got that nexus up. He's putting up a 3rd gateway as well as a Templar archives, and Iris might be in trouble here because I do not see an academy for Iris, nor do I see an engineering bay, and Iris might be in trouble here because he obviously has not got that scouting information. That SCV in Nalra's base was killed off.